Pizza is a breakfast, namely breakfast. You can eat it for lunch or for dinner, but that's very rare. You should always order it the night before. Let it sit the whole night in the fridge and enjoy it as a breakfast.
I feel very differently. So Jared, I feel like pizza is something to be respected. I'll make some pizza dough.
Do one that's like, Abe's Pizza Dough segment.
I don't do that.
Yeah, I know you don't, but do it.
No.
Okay, don't then.
I'll show you guys how to make dough.
It's Abe's Pizza Dough segment.
Okay, so first we have about 700 mils of tepid water. To that we will add roughly a tablespoon of sugar and my yeast, which is over here. Here I have 500 grams of Tipo 00 Italian flour in the bowl. Is 500 grams of semolina. Make a little well in the center. I'm gonna crack some salt in. It's about a teaspoon, I guess. And we will pour this straight in the middle, along with about 4 tablespoons of olive oil. So, it's a really wet dough, because the more water content in the dough, the nicer the pizza will be, because when you don't have an oven that goes to 400 degrees Celsius, the pizza has to stay in the oven longer and it loses its moisture. This is just more semolina that I'm using. I like using semolina because it gives the dough a nice color, a bit of crunch, and also a bit more flavor. And you'll know, basically, once you can knead the dough without it really sticking to your hands and your hands start becoming clean, you're getting some wet. And then I like to do this, which is stretch and bring back, because that starts developing the gluten strands in the dough, which will give us nice chew, nice dough that's easily workable. And you can see now my hands are becoming clean, cleaning up the table. Cool. That's pretty nice. I think what we'll do now is I'll get that bowl to reappear magically. Scrape some of them bits out, and or even put this in here and just pick them up. We don't want to do extra dishes. Olive oil bowl. Doughboy goes to bed. He gets olive oiled again. Rub it in.
gonna make myself some Gouda oil. What we're going to do now is create a flavoured oil. It's absolutely dead easy. We have a pan here on the heat. Get yourself a little bit of oil, pop it in a pan. We're going to make quite a bit. Into a jar, I'm going to pop some dried bay leaves, a sprig of rosemary, which I'm just going to give a little in my hands.
Where'd you get that rosemary, Jack?
We stole that from my next door neighbour. Bigs up to you, next door neighbour.
Whoever you are.
I'm going to get a couple of these fresh chilies, which I'm just going to give a whack with the back of my knife. And a little poking. Into the jar. Bang. Bang. And they're going to be a little bit floral, and then the majority of the heat is going to come from these dried chili flakes. Probably about...
Keep going. Keep going.
It's essentially going to be a chili oil, isn't it?
Just pour them in, for fuck's sake.
I think that'll be enough.
Good.
That'll be enough. We're going to get a bunch of these garlic cloves. I don't necessarily need to chop them. I'm just going to peel them, making sure that we bruise the garlic to release some of the delicious flavours. Bing. Turn that off. That's hot. Do be careful. It's hot oil. It will scald the shit out of you if you get it anywhere on you. And...
Ooh.
And then essentially leave it.
You've seen us make red sauce before, but here's how to do it again. Less cheesy?
Less cheesy. All right.
You've yeah.
Sorry, one sec.
You've seen us make red sauce before, but here's how to do it again. That's the one.
I can give them wiggle fingers.
This one is going to be even simpler. Here we have Jared's Gouda O. Just a little bit of that in there. Whole peeled tomatoes. And dried oregano. With that. And some pepper. And some salt, Jared. Where's the salt, Jared?
Where's the salt?
Where's the salt, Jared? I found the salt.
Donnie. So right now I'm going to show you how to make a bechamel or a white sauce. It's 2 tablespoons of butter, 2 tablespoons of flour. 1, 2, 3. And we're just going to whisk away until that's bubbling. All the flour has been dissolved. So that's about done. It's nice and frothy, it's bubbling, and I can smell that it's getting a little toasty note there. I am going to add all of this milk at once and just whisk the living daylight out of it. That's perfect. Look how that's getting those nice little spots and taking a while to melt down into the spaces that we've left it. Into that, we're going to add about 1/4 of a nutmeg. Not too much nutmeg because nutmeg is an insanely overpowering flavour. Unless you want it to taste like Santa's dick, then, you know, be sparing with the meg. And a good amount of parmesan as well, just for an extra bit of salt. And some cheesy goodness, because let's be fair, the more cheese on a pizza, the happier you'll be. And there you have yourself a beautiful bechamel sauce. Give it a little taste, and remember, always burn your finger.
Here we have a little dough baby. Not, when I say little, not so little. It has become a dough monster, and then knock it down. And you should just, oh. Thanks, Jabs. All right, so from that amount, we should get between 6 to 8 pizzas, depending on the size. So I'm just going to slice them in half. Oh. And it's super light. And once I've knocked it out already, so now I'm trying not to f with it too much. Put that half here. And I reckon I'm gonna make a square pizza first. Sheet tray. And there's no theatrical spinning or kind of anything with this. Like, you know, just make it fit the tray. If you've done everything else right, it should be really easy. And the one thing that I am trying to do is not crush the edges, because if you leave the edges, you've got air in them and it will make a nice crust. Once you've made your dough initially, and what we will do today is I'll make more than we need, obviously, and then you can put it in the fridge and it will do something called cold ferment. And it's not going to rise a lot in the fridge, but what will happen is it will start to develop kind of little flavors, and it gets better and it gets better and then it gets worse. So about 2-3 days, I reckon 2 days in the fridge is right where I like it personally. Not to mention, once your pizza dough is done with its proving and fermenting, freeze it. Portion it and freeze it and pull it out, and it's, you know, put it in your fridge the night before, and the next morning you've got breakfast pizza.
Always breakfast pizza. Don't ever have any other style of pizza or you're a chump.
We're going to use zucchini, and once again my old friend, his thing, and just take a strip off the top, and we'll just get ribbons of zucchini. Half is plenty. Cool, and then here I got about 1/4 of a red onion, and we'll slice it nice and fine. There. We have some pickled artichoke. I'll just give them a little, not even chop, I'm just gonna that's it. Sweet. And that, for our toppings, that's all we need.
So we're going to start with our bechamel sauce. What you have to remind yourself is that you want a little bit of all of the ingredients in every single slice. So from this tray, we're going to have probably, I don't know, in half, quarters, probably about 8 slices in total. And just sprinkle them on. Some Serrano ham. I might actually rip it up a little bit, that's probably better, because they're quite large slices. Just make sure everyone gets a good bit of ham, because in all honesty, if you get gypped on the ham, you're going to be a sad man. And a little bit of onion, and we'll get a little bit of that, a touch of Parmesan cheese, which will a touch of mozzarella, more, and then we'll finish that off with some Gouda oil. And I mean, have a look at the color of that. That is absolutely beautiful. Our next pizza is going to be a straight up margarita, the middle, and just go all the way around, almost to the edge. We're then going to pop a little bit of this Parmesan, quite liberal with it. I reckon that's just enough. We'll pop on our cheese. We're going to add a little bit of this basil. We're then going to add a touch of our beautiful oil. And finish it with a touch of oregano. That is going to be a margarita pizza that is going to blow your mind.
I made this pizza in this lovely pan, and we're going to crisp the bottom of it over the hob. So this is as hot as it goes. This oven is raging hot with the grill on as well. So first we're going to let this go for a while. It's very close, ladies and gentlemen. Very close, we are moments away. And this is why I can almost smell, you can smell when it starts to smell like toast. When it starts to smell like toast, that means parts of it are becoming kind of blackened and good. And it's almost time. Almost. This also depends on the pan you're doing. Oh, yep, we've got black spots. We good. Ready? Straight off there, underneath there. Turn that off, that's done. And walk away.
That, my friend, is good enough to burn your mouth on. Holy Jesus. That's so hot! Why do I keep doing this? Oh my god. I know why I keep doing this. Oh wow. Du har förtjat.
Hashtag eat my piss.
Hashtag like and subscribe. Hashtag glurb and subscribe. Yes, you fuck. Hashtag sklarb and barb. Yeah. And